Hello everybody, and it's lovely to be back with you again. Welcome back to Leadbetter's, and if you can hear any rumblings, it's not my stomach. We've got thunder all around us. The bonny dog is very anxious and it's very, very hot. In fact, I wish I had a fan, but please, if you're anyone there, if you could just say hello. Tell us where you are. Whew. That's better. I do have difficulty still with my eyes. I remember mentioning it last month. So we have Messy Dave with us this evening so that he can respond to anything that you're typing in. So please say hello. I will start in a minute. So welcome everybody, welcome back to Facebook Live, Messy Church Facebook Live, and it's lovely to be with you all again, my messy friends. I think it's about 1 month ago that I was with you, having just returned from furlough, and it's been quite an exciting month with Lucy trying to get me up to speed. There's been a lot going on, but tonight, I want to talk about change, embracing change, because there's a lot of change happening at the moment. I wonder how that makes you feel. But let me introduce myself first. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Jane, Messy Jane. Jane Leadbetter on the Messy Church BRF team with Lucy Moore and Dave Martin. And I've been involved in a messy church here in the northwest. So we're in thundery South Liverpool at the moment, and I've been involved coordinating for probably over 12 years now at L19 Messy Church. And connected to that, we have L19 Who Let the Dads Out, which is a group for dads, granddads, male carers and preschool children. And at the moment we're calling that group Who Kept the Dads In, for obvious reasons. I'm also very involved with the Scout Association and have been for many, many years, too many years to mention. But it's also a passion of mine, and I help to run a Beaver Scout colony every week. So that's 6 and 7 year old boys and girls. And I'm also Assistant County Commissioner for Beaver Scouts on Merseyside. So yeah, a busy life. I'm also a nana to 3 grandsons. So it's great. But before we carry on, I'd like to light a candle and invite God to join us. So hello Mary and everyone who's out there saying hello. Carry on saying hello so that Messy Dave can respond to you for me. That would be really cool. So this I introduced you to last month, and this is my Godly Play candle. And if any of you have been Godly Play trained, you'll be like me. You'll have that special box in your home where special things come out every now and then, and this is one of them from my box. This is my Godly Play candle. So on this very warm evening here in Liverpool, Lord of Hope, we welcome you. Be with us in our morning, afternoon and evening. And may our words and deeds be pleasing to you. Amen. I'll just set this aside. So last time I was on Facebook Live with you, we were hearing about some countries who were easing down on lockdown, like New Zealand. And others were returning to lockdown, like Melbourne. And last week we really enjoyed having Chris Barnett from Melbourne in the morning for Facebook Live, and then we had Sandy and Sophia from Melbourne telling us all about their messy church there. That was really entertaining. And in the UK we also have Leicestershire, that is back on lockdown. And then this morning when we woke up here in the UK, the news told us all about Auckland in New Zealand and how the city of Auckland is back on lockdown. Also here in the northwest, we have the city of Preston, who have got their restrictions to adhere to again. And there's Aberdeen up in Scotland, and then Lynn on our Facebook Live this morning commented on how there's 3 counties in Ireland that are back on lockdown. So it's all still very, very worrying, isn't it, everyone? And our prayers really are with you all as we have to take these necessary measures to manage this COVID-19 situation. It must be so difficult, really difficult to accept yet more change, especially if you've just been getting used to visiting and seeing your family and friends once more after such a long time. And in New Zealand, we were celebrating with them because they were going back to church face to face. And I know some are, but Auckland won't be at the moment. Change. Does anyone actually like change? And what is it about change that makes us feel so uncomfortable? Well, I just want to spend a bit of time this evening with you to chat about change and also about our mental health and well-being. So to help us, I've chosen a passage from the Bible. Now, this passage you will have heard a lot of times. You will have read it a lot of times, and you will have sung it a lot of times too. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 to 8. A time for everything. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace. How relevant is a lot of that during this difficult COVID-19 time? Everything has a season, and there is a time for every matter in life. And in verse 11, later on, we're reminded that he has made everything beautiful in its time. Each activity is for the right time and bringing about God's purposes. And what a privilege it has been to be a part of God's purposes at the Bible Reading Fellowship over these past 10 years. Yes, in 2 or 3 weeks' time, I will have been working with Lucy and Messy Church and the Bible Reading Fellowship for 10 years. And as many of you know, I am soon to be entering my time of retirement. And today, it's been Messy Dave's last day with us on the Messy Church team. It's been a really, really sad day. And I do hope, knowing that Dave's with us this evening, that you'll take this opportunity to send him your prayers and best wishes. It's been a really difficult day for us to get through, and imagine how much more difficult for Dave. But I do hope that you've had a chance to view the short video that he made and posted on our Facebook page. I think it was last Thursday. Please have a look for that. And also to read his blog called Messy Hindsights. And you can find that on the Messy Church website. And if you go to the top tabs on the main page and go to the tab that says More, there's a drop down there where you'll find the blogs easily. Messy Hindsights for Dave. Yes, because of this COVID-19 pandemic, the Bible Reading Fellowship, which is just a very small Christian charity, and it's that close to its centenary, it's having to make some really difficult changes. And in a very short season, Dave has made huge contributions to the Messy Church team. He has certainly upskilled little old me. And he has so many skills and God-given talents that in this very short season, it just has not been time to discover them all, I can assure you. And so we just want to thank you so much, Dave. Thank you so much for all that you've given us and for your friendship, which I know we'll have for a very long time anyway. But as colleagues, well, we're really going to miss you. And some of you know about Messy Lucy and Messy Martin, that's Martin Payne, who began their time with Bible Reading Fellowship in the Barnabas in Schools ministry. I mean, imagine being a school, inviting Lucy or Martin to arrive early in the morning and bring the Bible to life for all the school children and the teachers. I mean, it must have been awesome. Well, this BRF ministry has been very popular for many years and has had an excellent team delivering the Bible themes, the Bible stories, the RE days, and lots more all around the UK. But the COVID-19 pandemic has meant a shift in the opportunities to work with schools. And so Barnabas in Schools ministry will just not be viable. And so that will come to a close at the end of this academic year too. And then in September, next month, Lucy will be sharing some more changes. I mean, are you feeling uncomfortable, or do you think we can cope? And I wonder if you're experiencing change in your lives wherever you are. But we know that God has further purposes for Dave and for me and for Bible Reading Fellowship. We know that God never changes, and we're all called to enjoy life in the present with him. But still, what about those feelings of being uncomfortable or anxious because of change? Well, when I was on Facebook Live last month, I sensed a need to start another Messy Church Pinterest board about well-being, because you shared so much in your comments and emails about your own messy circumstances that you gave me like a pastoral prompt So I've started it. Yeah, and after some discussion, we've decided to call it Mental Health and Well-Being. And it's our board number 40. Woo, I can't believe it. But there's some really good organisations and resources out there that can help all ages. You'll find some of the resources probably quite familiar, but I do hope that there are new ones for you to discover. And only this tea time I've been adding some more from Australia, which are really great. I mean, I wonder, where is your happy place? So get your type fingers ready and let us know, where is your happy place? It might be a beach, could be a mountaintop somewhere, it could be when you're daydreaming on the back of the bus, it could be just when you're in someone else's company. It makes you happy. Just let us know. We'd love to see those. For myself, when it was our wedding anniversary, my husband and I 2 weeks ago, we didn't hesitate to know where our happy place was. We did hesitate about whether to go out for the day or not with current situations, and we haven't been out very much at all. But in the end, we did. We packed a picnic and put the dog in the car. The weather forecast said fine, and off we went to one of our happy places, and that's on just starting a coastal walk, coastal path in North Wales somewhere. We actually went to Anglesey. So yeah, it was just that feeling of being by the sea, the smell of the sea, the beautiful hedgerows and the wildlife there that made it. I mean, we knew straight away where to go. So where is your happy place, I wonder? Well, I'd like to share something I discovered when I was researching for this new messy Pinterest board. Because during lockdown, you may have developed certain routines, daily patterns, which has helped you. That's brilliant. And physical fitness challenges have certainly been very popular during lockdown, haven't they? I mean, it might be that you've been watching a certain somebody online who's been suggesting your own individual fitness challenges, or it could be that within your own family and distancing, you've set each other challenges as well. It could even be that, you've always wanted to learn how to do the hula hoop, but you've never done it before, and now you've had the opportunity, that sort of thing. And certainly in the Scout Association, we're still cooking up fun fitness ideas for all ages to try at home. It's just very, very popular. But did you know that if your body does regular and repetitive activity, like walking the same route for exercise every day, then your body stops taking in things. It starts to become automated. For example, let's say you're driving your car to work along the same road every single day. After a while, your body stops you noticing anything different, and familiarity builds in. And often it's this familiarity that can cause accidents, and not just on the road when you're driving, of course, anywhere like in your own homes. Got quite interested in this. So I thought I might set you a challenge, because how about trying to do something different when you're walking or cycling or driving your routes every day? How about trying different routes, inviting your brain to look for different things each day? And apparently the benefits are huge. So this is my challenge to you. Do you work from home? Do you work from home, and do you walk to work? Yes, really. Do you work at home and do you walk to work? So, maybe after you've showered in the morning, maybe after you've eaten your breakfast, perhaps you've put the bins out, you've read your daily Bible reading notes. I mean, do you then walk to work, which might be your desk or a table, wherever your laptop is, or do you just pull up a chair? How about trying a walk around the block? And if your lockdown circumstances allow you to do that, that's all I'm saying. You know, just how about adding a walk around the block or across the park before you actually start your work for the day? You could take that opportunity to maybe chat with God, look at the wonderful nature that God's provided for us, and the differences you might see in each season. Maybe you could be a really good citizen and collect a bag of rubbish along the way. Yeah, litter's a big problem at the moment again, isn't it? So sad. And while I've been exploring this wealth of mental health and well-being stories as I've been researching for this new board, I heard about a man that regularly travelled along the same route as he exercised every day. And he'd been doing it for quite a long time, all through the pandemic. And there's something that he'd never noticed. Something really to us would be quite obvious in the UK, let's be assured of that. Because yes, this is in an England suburb, but he never noticed that there was a kangaroo in a field that he passed every day. A kangaroo in an English suburb. So make some changes to alert your brain to new things, maybe. That's my challenge to you. It'd be a really, really healthy thing to do. So, change. Another routine that you may have developed during lockdown is becoming more aware of the nature and caring for God's planet. It could be that you've started to grow vegetables, or it could be that you've always grown vegetables, but you're trying to grow some different ones. Maybe you've joined a virtual gardening club, and maybe your interest in the birds has increased, local birds to you. For me, it's definitely been television programs like Springwatch. This is a British TV program for those of you that don't know it. And during lockdown, we had a good 2 weeks of daily TV of that. And then I joined something that they suggested, which is called the Self-Isolating Bird Club. And that's still going if you want to look it up. But it's been brilliant for sharing, for learning more about the nature around us. And because I'm nosy, I now know all about the nature around you probably as well. It's great. My well-being grows enormously each time I hook up to these kind of virtual groups. Really does. And of course, connected to all of these and in my own daily life routines is recycling and plastic issues. And I know some of you know that this is one of my passions, but it's really an easy routine to get into where we can make a huge difference to the planet. I mean, have you checked just today how much plastic has come through your home? You know, it might have come through in a shopping bag, might have come out the cupboards, it might have come through your letterbox even. Have you checked how much plastic has gone through your home in just one day? And of course I have some examples. So it could be something that your bread was wrapped in, or it could be something from which you gave your pet dog a treat for being good while it's been thunder and lightning around them. Yes, it could be something that's come through your door, a charity bag. And certainly where I live, we get these a lot. And they're all plastic. Or it could be that you're finishing off that lovely box of chocolates somebody bought for you. And you deserved it. But look, can any of this plastic be recycled, do you think? Have you double checked and looked at your local authorities to see what you can recycle and what you can't? And here in Liverpool, none of this plastic I've just shown you can be recycled. Only the plastic which is bottle shaped. So maybe it's come from under the sink as a cleaner, or it's going to wash your clothes, or you've used it to wash yourself in the shower, or you've had drinks from it. Plastic bottles is all in Liverpool, is all we can recycle. So all the other plastic will have to go in the general waste. And that means there's going to be a lot. So maybe the best routine that you could add in your life, in your daily life, is just not to purchase so much food and so many household items that are heavily wrapped in plastic. Let's change the world pollution and make a really big difference by just taking those small steps. I really want you to enjoy viewing the new Pinterest board. Mental health and well-being is what we've called it. And if you have any links yourselves that you think we could add, we'd be delighted to add those. So send them my way. And as always with Pinterest, it's all work in progress and it will just grow and grow. But there's already over 30 pins on there for you to enjoy. Look at the time. We're still talking about change, but hoping you're not too uncomfortable about it now. And I've just got a document I'd like to share with you first. Here it is. So I've printed this document off because I know a lot of you keep asking me when we say, look on our website, we've got something else to share with you. You always want to know, can I print it off? How many pages and how much ink will it take? Well, basically, because of the risk assessment at the end of this document, you've probably got about 6 sheets of paper, but you don't have to, of course, print it all off. You can just save it or keep looking on our website. But this is placed on the COVID-19 part of our website. And it's a document full of suggestions. So we don't want you to start to panic, don't want you to start saying, oh, everyone's doing this, I should be doing it too. No, it's not like that at all. But because some of you have been asking for any suggestions and help or guidelines when you're considering going back to do face-to-face messy church, Lucy has been meeting with the Church of England and she's been meeting with Fresh Expressions. So if you live in England, and if your denomination is the Church of England, we have made some suggestions for you because we can now clarify that we are messy churches regarded as an act of worship. Okay, so then that helped us to put together the guidelines. So we've got a suggested half hour that you could gather people, and we've told you how many we think you could gather. We've given you lots of ideas for preparing for this and for preparing for future ones. And this is only, as you probably realise, while we're still, as the government says, and our guidelines are daily probably being changed. So please do regularly look at those first and also look at your own denominational guidelines before you do anything. But this is also helpful, we hope. There's even a suggestion of how many people, how many adults you might need to do this. And we're thinking about 7. They've all got a role description. I love this part. So you've got your welcomer outside. You've probably got your welcomer inside. You've got your leader, who's that go-to person. You've got your host. You've got the shepherd. Love that one. You've got your celebration leader. And what you probably won't see on any other guidelines is you've got the loo meister. Now, it's probably quite obvious what their role is, but you know, everyone in their team needs a loo meister. I love that one too. And then, of course, we've got the guidelines finishing with the risk assessment. So risk assessment, that's the new word, isn't it? So in March, the new word was Zoom, and now we're into July and August. Everyone's talking about risk assessments, goodness me. And I'd also like to mention one more thing because it's coming up soon, and that's that we have a second Young Leaders online meetup coming up. So lovely Jonathan Bland, one of our Messy Church young leaders who contacted us with this great idea, has now successfully held his first Young Leaders online meetup on Zoom, and we'd like to invite you to a second one. So if you are, or you know any 10 to 16-year-old Messy Church young leaders who are free on the evening of Thursday, the 20th of August at 8 o'clock, or the morning of Friday, the 21st of August, 9 o'clock in the morning, if you contact Lucy at lucy.moore@brf.org.uk, you can book a place with her and she can send you our safeguarding guidelines and all the information that you need. And we do encourage you to find your young leaders and invite them to this. It was apparently really good and successful, the last one. So I think it's nearly time to finish. I'm just checking to see if I've forgotten anything. Oh, yes, next week. Oh, be very excited, everyone. I am. Next week we have Lizzie Hackney, who's going to be joining us and running our Facebook Live. So next week, Lizzie, who is the lead intergenerational missioner for the Diocese of Hereford, she will be sharing her experiences of telling stories online. She will be giving some practical tips and talk about why it's such a great thing to do, although she keeps saying that she's no expert. But gosh, can't you just sense her enthusiasm already? And of course, Lizzie invites you to join her and to ask any questions. So go for it. So that's next Wednesday with Lizzie Hackney. So I think it's time to finish and to get my candle, which has been making me feel very warm here on this muggy evening. I wish you could see the colour of the sky. It's very interesting outside in Liverpool. And as we leave now, I send this light of Christ to you all. May you listen to and embrace God's purposes for you. May you see everything He has made beautiful in its time. May you know God's eternal love and presence as we encounter life's changes. Through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. So thank you for joining our Facebook Live, and stay safe, everybody, until we meet again.